Hi all, Dan here and welcome to Oligo Models. Today we're going to be doing stages 5 and 6 of build the Batmobile Tumbler from Hachette Partworks. So before we start building, if you do want to get this for yourself and you're not already building it, head on over to the Hachette Partworks website where you will be able to find it there, and you can subscribe all the way back from stage 1. I will put a link below so you can see that. Also, if you would like to see me building this all the way from pack 1, I will put a link up the top where you can click on it and you'll be able to find a playlist for yourselves. So before we start building this, let's have a look at the magazines and see what we're going to be doing in these two stages. So as we can see here, it looks like we're going to be working or starting to work on the bulkhead. We're going to be fitting some supports and shock absorbers. So we can see the bulkhead here, putting on a few bits and pieces. I think over here we've got a thread that we need to cut in one of the parts before we actually fix it down there. And then by the end of it, it's going to be looking like this. Moving on to stage 6, we've got some more pieces that we're going to be putting onto the bulkhead. Looks like we've got some kind of roll bar or strengthening bar here. We've got some more details that we're going to be popping onto it before at the end it looks like this. We'll see down the bottom we can see some of the bits that we're going to be getting with stage 7. So knowing what we've got to build in these two stages, let's build this. So as we can see here, all the pieces do come in this great box. We've got the Dark Knight Trilogy logo on there. So opening it up, we've got this big old bulkhead here. This is solid metal. If we come up here, you can see how big it is compared to me. This is a very weighty part. And then also in there, we've got a couple of different screws, and we've got the details that we're going to be doing. Okay, so with the parts laid out, we've got these bearers, they're calling them. They've got an L and an R on them. You might be able to see it in there. This one's got an L. The first thing it wants to do is take the left one. It wants us to locate these two holes here. And with the lugs coming out the bottom, we're going to slot that into place like so. We then need CP screws, so we'll get those out. And then it wants us to secure this in from the other side with 2 CP screws. Okay, so we've turned over. Let's get the first one in. Just put it in loosely to start with. And we'll get the second one in. Just make sure it's actually going in. And there we go. We've got the first part all in place. The next, with the right one, we're going to do exactly the same, just on the other side. So we've slotted it in there. I'm going to take 2 of the CP screws and secure it into place. That's the first one in. Let's make sure they're both tight. And there we have it. This is now looking like this. So now we've got the two shock absorbers. These are marked very small on the top there with an L, and this one with an R. The first thing it wants us to do is take one of the CM screws, and in the hole here it just wants us to cut the thread. So let's get on and do that. So taking the first one of the screws, just going to screw this in a bit, screw it out a bit, and do this a few times until we're happy that we've got that thread cut in there. As we're going into metal, and certainly as we're trying to just make sure that the thread is cut, I've dipped the screw in a little bit of 3-in-1 oil just to help with it. Quite happy that those threads are cutting both of those. So bringing the bulkhead back in and then choosing the left of these shock absorbers, we're going to be locating where this is going to go, which is down the bottom in this slot here. Okay, so with that in place there, we're now going to turn this over. I'm going to have to hold that in place. Maybe it's easier to get this turned over slightly first of all. In place, turn it over the other way, and then this is going to be secured into place with a CM screw. And there we go, we've got that in place there. And next, we're going to do exactly the same, but on the other side. And there we are. We've now got these two bearers and the two shock absorbers in place, and that is all there is to do in that issue. Okay, so stage 6. Let's get all these bits out. As you can see, we've got this bar here. That bit is plastic. I was expecting that to potentially be metal, but no. And in here, we'll get them out. We've got some more details that we're going to be using in this stage, and then we've got some GP and CP screws. Right, so the first thing that it wants us to do is take the shock absorber and the shock absorber joint, and it wants us to place a small bracket into the slots there, and then this is going to be held in with a GP screw, and we're going to do that for both of the shock absorbers that we've got here. So screwing the first one in. That's nice and tight. And then doing exactly the same with the other one. Right, and there we go. We've got the two shock absorbers in place like that. So with the bulkhead brought back in, we're going to mount these two shock absorbers on. So we're going to take the first one We're going to pop it through the slot that we've got there, noticing that it does look like it's going in the other angle, the opposite way, rather, maybe on this camera. So we've got the shock absorber going that way, and we've got this other piece of shock absorber going this way. And this is going to be secured into place with a CP screw. So get my screws out. Holding it into place and turning it over. And then screwing it in. So we've got the first one in place. We're now going to do exactly the same on this side. There we go. These are now both in place and are able to move up and down. So next we want to locate these two slots that we've got up the top here. And then we've got these sidebar supports. If we look underneath, we can see there's a lug coming out of one, and then there's a hole there for a screw, which can only go in one way on the bulkhead. So we're going to locate the first one in place. I'm going to secure that in place with the CP screw. So turning it over. So they're nice and tight. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. We've now got these sidebar mounts in place. So finally, with those two sidebar mounts in place, I'm going to take the sidebar, and this is going to be slotting into those holes there. So we're going to turn it around the other way, as on the bottom we've got these bits that are coming out the sides. These need to be facing in towards that bulkhead. So quite simply slot that in, and then we can rotate that round, and that now looks like this. And there we have it. We've now started work on the bulkhead. Now that bulkhead that is really heavy, so I think that's only goes to show how heavy this build's going to be at the end, but it certainly does feel like it's good quality that we've got there. So that's that pack all complete. If you did like the video, do remember to leave a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe, hit the notification bell, and any new videos, you'll be told all about them. Until next time, take care and keep modelling.